everyone, welcome to ChinesePod. My name's Fiona, and today we have with us a very special guest host, my good friend,
Dan.
Dan, would you like to share with the other poddies how you came to sit in the seat?
Yes, I am a huge fan of ChinesePod. I've been listening for over a year now, and I'm just graduated with my MBA here in Taipei and just so excited to join Fiona today on ChinesePod.
So we're very lucky to have Dan here. Dan's kind of moved past elementary into intermediate, and now it's a big challenge. But now he's here with us to talk about how to say, I like all of it. I don't like all of it. And I like some of it. And the theme of today's lesson, we're going to be giving you six different ball-based sports, none of which I'm good at, but...
None of which I'm good at either.
Okay, awesome. So maybe when you're listening to the dialogue for the first time, see if you can pick up some of those sports. And I want you to focus on which ones they like, which ones they don't like, and which ones they like some of.
Right.
All right, well, let's listen to today's dialogue.
好的.
Awesome, you got that!
你喜欢打网球还是踢足球？
我都喜欢。
橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗？
我都不喜欢。
那么羽毛球和乒乓球呢？
我不都喜欢。我喜欢打羽毛球，不喜欢打乒乓球。第二遍。
你喜欢打网球还是踢足球？
我都喜欢。
橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗？
我都不喜欢。
那么羽毛球和乒乓球呢？
我不都喜欢。我喜欢打羽毛球，不喜欢打乒乓球。第三遍。
你喜欢打网球还是踢足球？
我都喜欢。
橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗？
我都不喜欢。
那么羽毛球和乒乓球呢？
我不都喜欢。我喜欢打羽毛球，不喜欢打乒乓球。
Alright guys, now for the translations. 你喜欢打网球还是踢足球？
Do you like to play tennis or soccer?
你喜欢打网球还是踢足球？
Do you like to play tennis or football?
我都喜欢。
I like them both.
我都喜欢。
I like them all.
橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗？
Do you like rugby and cricket?
橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗？
Do you like football and cricket?
我都不喜欢。
I don't like any of them.
我都不喜欢。
Both I don't like.
那么羽毛球和乒乓球呢？
Then what about badminton and ping pong?
那么羽毛球和乒乓球呢？
In that case, what about badminton and ping pong?
我不都喜欢。
I don't like both of them.
我喜欢打羽毛球，
I like playing badminton.
不喜欢打乒乓球。
I don't like playing ping pong.
我不都喜欢。我喜欢打羽毛球，我不喜欢打乒乓球。
I don't like both. I like playing badminton, but don't like playing ping pong.
Okay, guys, now that we've done the translations, I thought it'd be good to first talk about all the different types of sports that we see in today's lesson. Then we can talk about liking them or disliking them.
Sure.
Okay, so first, let's look at the sports. We have 网球, tennis, which if I did a literal translation, it would sound like netball.
Right.
But it's actually, and I actually don't know what the Chinese for netball is. I'll put it in the comments somewhere. But 网球 is tennis. 足球 is
Soccer, if you're American.
football if you're British. So the black and white ball that goes around, not the...
You're trying to kick it in the net.
Yes. Then we have 橄榄球, which literally is, do you know?
Oval football?
Yeah.
Oval?
Olive ball.
Olive ball.
Olive ball. I would translate this as rugby, and often it's translated as football, American football. Now, if you're worried, you're like, then which one do I pick? What do I say if I want to talk about American football, rugby, British soccer? You can just simply add 英式
English style.
exactly, or 美式
American style.
So if you want to say 美式橄榄球, it's very clear what you're talking
American
about.
style football.
Or 英式足球
English style football.
Or soccer. Yeah. So there you go. So any kind of sport that you want to clarify, you can just pick the name of the country, add the character for style, which is 式, 英式, 美式, and then tag the sport along with that. Now let's move on to the most boring sport in the world. You guys are already frowning at me. 板球
Baseball.
Cricket.
Cricket.
You think baseball is the most
Yes.
boring? Maybe at this point it's good. Baseball is 棒球. So 棒 is like the bat, and then 板 is like a flat board. So cricket, where you hit with a flat board, and then 棒球, you hit with a bat. Both apparently we think are very boring. So there you go.
Right.
棒球, 板球.
Baseball and cricket.
That's right. Finally, we see 羽毛球 and 乒乓球.
Badminton and ping pong.
Ping pong is kind of easy, right? Because it's
Very
a homonym,
easy.
right? Ping, pong. Now, in Chinese, this is called a 象声词. So when the sound of the word sounds like the sound of the activity. Ping, pong. And if you look at the characters, it actually looks like a ball going bing, 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 ping, pong, 球. Then we have 羽毛球. Do you know what a 羽毛is?
Like a feathery thing.
A feather ball.
Feather ball.
Badminton. Feather ball. 羽毛球.
So for badminton, yǔmáoqiú, be third tone, second tone, second tone.
Yeah. 羽毛球. I remember to go a bit lower with that third tone. 羽毛球. Okay, let's do a quick recap before we move on to what we like and dislike. So, we have 网球,
Tennis,
足球,
soccer,
橄榄球,
rugby,
板球,
cricket,
羽毛球,
badminton,
乒乓球.
ping pong.
And now I guess it's a good point to talk about the verbs that go with that, right?
Yeah.
Anything you hit with your hand, I would say is 打.
Da.
打羽毛球打乒乓球打板球 and then 打网球 I'm just thinking which one
What
to do with
about
what.
gǎnlǎnqiú?
橄榄球 I would say you 踢 or you I don't know there's
Tricky.
both hand and foot in that in rugby, so you can either say 打橄榄球 or 踢橄榄球, or if you want a more general verb, you can just say 玩, the verb to play, right? So like this weekend, 这个周末我要去玩橄榄球. I'm going to go do some rugby this weekend.
Okay, so let's move on to the next line where they talk about what they like, what they don't like.
Okay, so we hear 你喜欢打网球还是踢足球? T is to kick. So 喜欢 is to
Like.
and to dislike?
不喜欢.
不喜欢我喜欢我不喜欢. Okay, in this case, they like them both. And the key character for saying that you like all of something is
都.
That's exactly right. 我都喜欢. So, 你喜欢咖啡还是 or 茶?
Do you like coffee or tea?
你呢?
我喜欢咖啡.
Okay. 我都喜欢. I like them both, whereas Dan likes coffee. Now he goes on and asks other sports, right? Rugby and cricket. Do you like them? 橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗? Do you like it? So it's perfectly fine to list off a load of sports and say, do you like these? Do you like them? 咖啡和茶你喜欢吗?
我喜欢咖啡 or 我都喜欢.
That's exactly right.
So maybe we talk about this do and boo and where the different words are placed.
Okay, good question there, Dan. So now, if you don't like cricket, or rugby, you might want to say, I don't like either of them, or I don't like either of them. I don't like any of them. You can say 我都不喜欢. 我都, this character for all. I all don't like. 我都不喜欢. Now this guy seems pretty persistent. He's like, wow, then do you like badminton or ping pong? Maybe he's really like trying
he really
to find...
wants to find what this person likes.
Right.
Please like something.
Then, 那么. You gave a good translation before for this. Like, well...
Then, or in that case...
Yeah, in that case, then 羽毛球和乒乓球呢? Ne is a great question particle.
Right. I used to get very confused with na or ma. Both are kind of means a question.
They're both indicate questions. So this is what we call a question particle in Chinese. But that's a good question. It's easy to get confused between the two. When you hear ma, it's always a yes/no question. 你喜欢咖啡吗?
我喜欢 or 是, right?
Yeah. Yes, I like it, or 我不喜欢. So that's very clear. I'm prompting, you either like it, dislike it, right? But if I say, 咖啡和茶你喜欢哪一个呢? It's an open-ended question. You can give me any answer. So guys, when you hear ma, it's always a yes/no question. Na is like, well, what do you think? It's kind of out there. I've given you kind of the balls in your court, whatever you want to say.
How about?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Finally, we see something that seems a bit odd, right? In the final sentence, or we hear something that might seem a bit odd.
That bu and do have switched around,
Exactly.
right?
We just talked about 我都喜欢, I like them all. 我都不喜欢. And then we hear 我不都喜欢. So it's like run to the other side. It's like, what's it doing? Well, let's think again at do. So it's all encompassing, right? 我不都喜欢. Where the 不 goes is important. 不喜欢 is I don't like, right? I not all like. I don't dislike them all, or I don't like them all. I like some of it, and I dislike some of it. And that's exactly what we see in today's dialogue. 我喜欢打羽毛球，我不喜欢打乒乓球。
Could you ever get really crazy and say 我不都不喜欢?
You can't.
One too many boos.
Yeah, because you've already negated, so you've already given the listener a cue, right? 我不. Okay, so something's being negated here. 我不都喜欢，我不都不喜欢. I guess you could, but it's just 我不都不喜欢，我不, it just sounds a bit like a rap at this point. So in Chinese, most often, even with our pronouns, right? I'm sure at this point, Daniel realized we like to simplify sentences. When things are already very clear, when the context is clear, you'll see a lot of things dropped in Mandarin. We don't need to keep everything in a sentence.
So is this a common structure you would see normally?
Okay, I'm going to say it's somewhat uncommon. And at this point, I hear you say, well, Fiona, why are you teaching me an uncommon sentence structure? It's a good opportunity to learn this, because there's always going to be that situation where you hear something and you're going to be like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you like me? What are you saying, right? There's going to be a point where that becomes critical. So it's good to see all these different variations of do. Now, when is it common? It's very common when you're being asked something that's very broad, a broad category of something. And this is the perfect time to use this structure. So if I say, Dan, 你喜欢中国菜吗? Do you like Chinese food?
我不都喜欢.
Yeah, I don't like it all. Maybe you can say 我喜欢川菜. I don't like all Chinese food, but I like Sichuanese food.
Spicy.
Spicy food. Yeah. Maybe I can ask, Dan, 你喜欢吃炸的吗? Do you like deep fried foods?
我不都喜欢. Really, I do like all fried foods.
You can say, 我不都喜欢炸的，我喜欢吃薯条. I like French fries. 但我不喜欢其他的. I'm trying to think. It's hard to think of something that's
fried
deep fried
chicken.
that I don't like.
Right, exactly.
Maybe that's not the best example. But you guys get the point. If someone's asked you something very broad, there's a very broad category, and you don't want to be like, hey, I don't like all of it. I like some of it. This is the perfect time to use that structure.
Right.
Structure.
All right, guys, now that we know all about different ball sports, different ways to say what you like and don't like, let's listen to the dialogue 3 more times.
好的。
你喜欢打网球还是踢足球？
我都喜欢，
橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗？
我都不喜欢。
那么羽毛球和乒乓球呢？
我不都喜欢。我喜欢打羽毛球，不喜欢打乒乓球。第2遍，
你喜欢打网球还是踢足球？
我都喜欢，
橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗？
我都不喜欢。
那么羽毛球和乒乓球呢？
我不都喜欢。我喜欢打羽毛球，不喜欢打乒乓球。第3遍，
你喜欢打网球还是踢足球？
我都喜欢，
橄榄球和板球你喜欢吗？
我都不喜欢。
那么羽毛球和乒乓球呢？
我不都喜欢。我喜欢打羽毛球，不喜欢打乒乓球。
Dan, if I were to force you into a situation where you had to play one of these sports, which one would it be?
I think that would have to be football, American football.
美式橄榄球 or 美式足球
Right. Living in Taipei, I think not a lot of people know about American football. Gives me a bit of an advantage, right?
When I first moved back to Taiwan, I'm like I'm not sporty at all. Okay, let me just say that. But I was like, I want to get fit. Maybe I want to get into something if there's like some kind of game. So I was like, okay, I think like badminton, 羽毛球 is a good sport to start. So Guillermo and I, we go get our bats. Do you call them bats? Yeah, bats. And the 羽毛球, and the actual feather ball. And we're like, okay, so we go to the sports stadium and we turn up. And there are some serious badminton players here. I mean, people know their stuff.
I didn't know a badminton could move that fast.
Yeah, it's like really competitive. So like Guillem and I like quickly like backed out and we were like, okay, I think we're gonna stick to something else. Maybe just like lift some weights. But it was super intimidating. So if you love badminton or ping pong, I think some of your Chinese friends or Taiwanese friends will definitely give you a run for your money.
That's without a doubt, yeah.
Okay guys, we hope you enjoyed today's lesson and thank you so much to our special guest host Dan, and we'll see you again in the next lesson. 再见，拜拜。
再见。